What is up, everybody? Dan and the Fireman here. Today we're going to be watching these dum-dums ride their motorcycles. So let's take a look and see what they're doing wrong. Name at least 3 things. Okay, so we got lane filtering, no gear, splitting, really, lane splitting. We're just going to watch this and we're going to kind of go over some of the potential problems here. So this is a dangerous spot. He's not very confident in it. So I see a lot of ego playing into here. Okay, can't make it, not going to go for it. Poor choice. So do you think this is more like road racing with obstacles? Kind of reminds me of Road Rash, that one video game back in the day where they're attacking each other, fighting each other, all those things, you know, with crowbars, chains, and whatnot. This isn't very safe. There's the ego. It's playing a part of it. And there's the speed wobbles. Almost crashed. So we're going to go over just a little bit of potential issues here. Now, if you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But we're going to be going over quite a bit in today's videos. So let's take a look. So right now, lots of different traffic, lots of craziness. We have people, you know, trying to split right there. What are these called, by the way? But yeah, they're splitting, kind of crossing each other off. I get it. This is in Mumbai. This is going to be something a little bit different culture. This isn't the United States, but they do try to have some type of lane system here, but it's just not going to work. So when it comes to ego, this is kind of what's playing into it. This isn't defensive riding. This is aggressive and idiotic riding. So we're just looking for escapes. At this point, all we can really do is accelerate. And so when we're talking about planning our ride, we're not really positioning ourselves at all for safety. But what we're doing as part of positioning for safety, we're looking for escape routes. We're trying to have good line of sight and have good space cushions. We're just completely removing the space cushions. We're not locating hazardous situations, really, only the ones that are going to be stopping us from progressing at this speed. And so what they're really doing is they're just trying to find escape. They're just trying to find gaps in everything. Can their motorcycle make it? Can this happen? And when it comes to seeing this kind of stuff, I want you guys to understand that, yes, they're being dumb. Yes, they're being idiotic. Yes, they're not supposed to be doing this kind of stuff. But if we're riding defensively, okay, we're riding defensively, we're paying attention in traffic, we're paying attention, doing everything we possibly can, and all of a sudden this person right here slams their brakes, this Toyota slams their brakes. Look at what we can do when it comes to an escape path. So there's a part of being defensive, and then there's a part of being aggressive. So if this was a red stage situation where this person, the Toyota, slammed their brakes, we have to do something. We need to accelerate and then swerve into this area. So if this is a red stage, go for it. There's a point in time where you have to attack. There's a point in time where you have to be aggressive. But 95, 99% of the time when you're riding, you are riding defensively. This is flipped. This is flipped. The reason why you ride defensively is because you're going to avoid a lot of these close calls, and that's why we plan our ride. When it comes to riding aggressively, we're going to have a ton of close calls. This is the exact opposite of what we are doing here at the MTC Rider Academy. DDFM crew does not do this. So when we watch this kind of stuff, just understand, no, they're not experts. No, they're not professionals. No, they're not really good at riding. They're just really lucky. So when it comes to defensive riding, we need to be lucky when it comes to a red stage maneuver, but let's reduce that luck by increasing our skill. This right here is not a smart choice. That person, the white vehicle could just kind of push you over a little bit and boom, you're done. Honking the horn, trying to grab her stuff, but look at the little bit of space that this person truly needs. They probably have their foot up on the right side. They're riding on the other side of the white line. There's some balance here. There's a little bit of skill. This is going to be a little bit of OJT, on-the-job training type stuff here. Experience is teaching this, but you're practicing bad habits. Got lucky to get out of there. Now we're finding more escape routes. Now this is a great position. Let's say this is paused. We're all riding the speed limit. Decent space cushion right in front of us. We have an escape path right in front of us, and we have great line of sight, okay? But we're going to go ahead and steal everything else, okay? Nobody's paying attention. Everybody's being pushed around, going to swerve around, found a gap. This is too much chaos, too much prefrontal cortex, too much bandwidth coming into your brain. This is definitely not an area for beginners. And if you are a beginner doing this and you think that you're doing a good job, this is the point where it's not if but when you're going to crash. So a little bit excited. There's the ego, the adrenaline rush, the dopamine hits. This is not why I ride. I ride to go to work. I ride to enjoy myself. I ride to feel the grounding of me being with the motorcycle. I'm not here trying to gather adrenaline. My life is already too crazy to have this. And then so we're going to hit some bumps. You see the little bumps right there? Now we're starting to get the speed wobbles. We're speeding pretty fast, probably not maintained front suspension. And we are so lucky because our hands are being shot all over the place that we did not crash. Able to grab it, okay? Now imagine crashing without gloves, without jacket. Maybe he has a helmet, who knows? Nothing else. In this traffic, everyone's going crazy. This is why people die. This is why people die, not just here in Mumbai, but in the United States, anywhere else. Don't ride like this. Let's hop on the bike real quick.
We're going to go for a ride. We're going to be talking about 3 forgotten tips motorcycle riders need to know real quick. Be predictable, be legal, be visible. We're going to be jumping into that a little bit more. So be predictable. What does that even mean? A lot of people are like, well, I don't like that. I don't get it. People should just see me. People should just know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell you right now, that will get you in so much trouble in every aspect of your life. You have knowledge, and people should know the same things you know, basically. Hey, I know that I'm right here. They should know I'm right here. Hey, I know how to tie a figure 8. They should know how to tie it. It doesn't work. Their perspective is different than your perspective. It's as simple as that. For you, be predictable. How do you be predictable? You communicate your intentions. You communicate what you want. You communicate your needs and your boundaries. I could go on. It's so much far reaching. So being predictable on the motorcycle. So if we're going to narrow it down to just motorcycle riding, well, are you constantly just like playing around, like doing this, just on the bike? You know, let's go ahead and get into cruise control. Are you like dancing to music? Are you motovlogging, not paying attention to the road? We have a possible deer coming out, but we're just going to go ahead and not pay attention to any of that. Bicyclists and cars, all these things, we're not going to pay. If you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing, nobody knows what you're supposed to be doing. So being very clear with your intentions, being very clear with what you're doing. We're on the road. We're in the center lane right now. We can switch over to the left lane if we want. We can switch over to the right lane if we want. It's fine, but being predictable. So we're coming up to an intersection and we are hauling ass and all of a sudden slamming the brakes. That's not predictable for the person behind us. So if we're coming up to an intersection and it's a stale green light and all of a sudden it turns yellow, and we're still going 50 on the road, it's a 50-mile-an-hour road, and we're like, we're just gonna go ahead and stop. Boom, slam the brakes, stop on time, good progressive braking, but still, it's very quick. Person behind you was not anticipating that. They run into the back of you, they can't stop in time. So sometimes it's actually better for you to go through the intersection on a yellow versus to stop. Now, when it comes to cornering, you're going through a corner, you're doing, the 30, 40 miles an hour, let's say 40 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I really like the view. And then you swerve off to the right and you get into the shoulder, but then you're like, nah, I don't feel like it. And then you get back into your lane. That person behind you thought you were gonna move over to the right. They were gonna continue going, and boom, you hit them, they hit you. There's a bunch of different reasons why you need to be predictable. These are just 2. I want you to write in the comments an area where it's good to be predictable. So think of intersections, think of interstate merging. Okay, so if you're gonna swerve across lanes, hey, think of the HOV lane. Think of you riding in like downtown where there's a lot of pedestrians. Write in the comments another way that you can be predictable, but the main thing here is being very clear with your intentions, not being erratic, and making sure you know what you're doing. So we got a side of the vehicle right here. So I could just, what's up, buddy, how you doing? I could be super erratic and I'd be like, what's up, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. It's gonna confuse them. They're gonna go, and all of a sudden I hit them because I was just playing around, and now we're in trouble.
What is up, everybody? We're gonna be watching this. Somebody's on their phone, so let's see what happens here. We're on the on-ramp, got a merge into us. Now, why did that person merge into that right lane? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we're coming up to here. What is the pattern that you see right away? Okay, what I see is that we have that open lane. Our lane is looking good. Maybe this driver right here that's going to be merging in front of us was wanting to take a right turn on the next off-ramp. Who knows? We're doing good. We're getting up to the flow of traffic. Everything's fine, but just be aware of this. You can already see that this person is crossing that line. So if we have to roll off that throttle, at this point, you don't really have to do progressive braking unless we're starting to get really close. And the reason for that is that we're at such a high speed, rolling off the throttle, engine braking is going to help out quite a bit. So if you ever see something like this, watch out. Okay, there's that open pattern. Okay, the open lane, like I said. So our lane looks great. Big stack of vehicles. There's the vehicle switching over. Who knows if it, for whatever reason, maybe they're passing on the right, which is not very smart, especially right after an on-ramp. They should have checked their mirrors, checked their blind spots, all these different things. They shoulda. What do? Did good. We did good. We rolled off the throttle, and if we had to, we could have applied the brakes. This person switched back in their lane. It's very high speed, very dangerous, and this is why when we're going into on and off ramps, we are going to be in orange stage, prepped and ready until we get into an area where there's not a lot of traffic. We have decent space cushions everywhere, and that's why we're planning a ride, positioning for ourselves for safety. And then once we get that safety aspect, we get back into the mode of 90% of our riding is going to be, well, about 80% of our riding is going to be zoned in yellow stage. We see intersections. We see on and off ramps. We see corners. We're going to go into orange stage. Anything that grabs your attention, it's like, I don't like this, we're going to go into orange stage. So that's why 10 to 20% of orange stage stuff. So handled it well. Look forward. We still have other issues. You never know if this guy's going to switch over. You don't know if anybody else is going to switch over. Kind of watch out. But this looks good. Let's watch the next one. And here we go. All right, nighttime. What are some hazards at night? Can you see very well? Not really. Look at the headlight. Barely working. It's at dusk. He saw this driver or these pedestrians, and that rider did not see us or the pedestrians. Not paying attention at all. So these pedestrians like, oh no, not good. They're gonna have to jump and run. Almost got clipped. We got clipped. Okay, not very good. Let's go back to this. So right here, all right, so we're riding around at night. It's about dusk, and this is where like the headlights don't really want to work. Our eyes aren't really working. We have a little bit of light. We don't have a lot of light. Pedestrians are crossing. Who knows? It looks like a residential area. Lots of traffic. Well, not lots of traffic. We got headlights coming towards us. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So when I'm in this position, I'm going to be in orange stage just because it's like my vision. I care so much about my vision that if I have less of it, I really want to slow it down just in case I have to swerve, in case I have to brake, in case I have to accelerate out of a situation, whatever it is. You know, if I'm assessing this as a relevant threat, maybe I have to navigate it and go into that red stage. And so we saw it. Very good. These pedestrians, I don't know if it's a pedestrian crosswalk or whatever, or a position for them to do it, but thankfully this person saw them. But look at the profile you have of them. You can't see them very well at all. So this is very good for this rider to actually see them. This is why you have a clear visor at night. What I like to do is have a clear visor, and with the Voss helmet, which links in the description for an affiliate link for Voss, but I have a clear visor and a drop down dark visor. I can't think right now, but I usually wear sunglasses too. So just in case I get caught out at night, boom, clear visor. If I get in the daytime, still clear visor, but then the drop down smoked visor. And so that's what I use. So right here though, saw it. These people decided to stop and slow down, and this person right here was not paying attention, okay? So they either just were paying attention to us, didn't see these pedestrians, whatever it is, we got clipped. And this is why, as a smart rider, we acquire and use personal protective equipment just in case they actually hit the very back of us or clipped our leg, because that can easily happen here, and then we have issues. One of my first incidents is where I was actually in a motorcycle crash. Well, it was a crash. It was an accident. A motorcycle rider actually clipped me on the side exactly like this when I was stopping at a stoplight. He wasn't paying attention, and I believe his passenger peg or something clipped my calf muscle, and that thing was painful, and, you know, dented a few things here and there, but exactly like this. Be very careful. It just a little bit will hurt, and I had my boots on too, so it actually hit the boots, hit the soleus of my calf, and pretty painful. So make sure you're visible, make sure you're riding legal, and make sure that you know, you're utilizing all your equipment so that you're not, you know, invisible at night. So glad this person's doing okay. Terrible situation, doesn't want to get hit. Now you got to deal with insurance. You got to deal with all the other stuff. Hopefully nothing was damaged, so maybe you don't even have to deal with insurance. You just kind of let the deductible stay where it's at, and he buys you, I don't know, a new mirror.
The next thing is being legal. So this is kind of like being predictable, okay? So it has like it's kind of married a little bit. So being legal, so not just speed limit, not just staying in your lane, not just riding with gear, like if you have to have a helmet, not just riding with a helmet. I'm gonna wave to this guy. So like in California, you have to have a helmet. Arizona, you don't. So there's that stuff, but then really start thinking about, do you have everything you have on your bike? So you have a headlight, because I believe in the United States, all the states, you have to have a running headlight even during the day. Do you have brake lights? Is everything that you're doing legal in the area that you're riding? Because when you're out riding, you don't want to think too much. You don't want to think about things that could happen. So if I'm out riding, it's say in California, or from Arizona to California, I don't have a helmet. Now I'm worried about a cop. So now I'm searching for cops instead of paying attention to the road. If I'm speeding. So now if I'm speeding, which is against the law, if I'm going like 60 if I'm going over 50, which I think it's a 35, which is weird. But if I'm going over 50, against the law, so I'm looking for cops. But it's also not what the road was designed for. The road is designed for 50 miles an hour. For cars, I get it. We could do a lot more and still handle it, but still, I get it. I don't want to be looking for cops when I'm trying to going through this blind corner, because I'm about to hit a cattle guard. See, I don't want to worry about cops. I don't want to worry about running into the back of a vehicle because it's a blind turn or a blind corner or blind whatever. I don't want to worry about all that stuff. So if I just stay within the legal boundaries of things like wearing a helmet, having a headlight so people can see me during the day because we're such a small target, having brake lights so that people behind me know that I'm braking, paying attention to the road, I just do the legal stuff and you don't have to worry about it anymore. I get it. You want to go 60, 70 on this 50? Well, guess what? We're going to end up in the same spot, especially if we're just going in town. I'm going to be home in like 15 minutes. You're going to be there in 13 minutes, and I'll be there 2 minutes later. But at the whole 13 minutes you were riding, you were focused on a bunch of cops. You're worried about, rear ending. You're worried about all this stuff. And if you're not, you should. And over here at 15 minutes of me driving home, I'm relaxed. I'm good. I had 15 minutes of great time. You had 13 minutes of stressing about cops. You saved 2 minutes of not stressing about cops. I had 15 minutes of not stressing. So that to me is way more valuable than speeding. And that's why I don't speed. On top of the safety aspect, adding more factors to a possible crash.
We're going to be going over sides of the vehicles and being visible when you're out riding. So let's go and take a look at this one. Right now it's a red light, green light. So green doesn't always mean go. I mean, it means go, but doesn't mean you should go right away, because we have sides of the vehicles like this. That honking of the horn didn't really do much, did it? Kind of gave you maybe a little bit of an ego boost, but yeah, they saw you. They saw everything. You got the lights right in the back of them. They hear it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not making them accelerate faster. It's more so kind of grabbing their attention, and they're like, what's going on? They're not putting the foot to the gas because they're looking around instead of looking forward. They're not going to go. So anyways, here we go. Let's go and take a look at this one. It's green light. You see the side of the vehicle right over there next to where it says links are in the description, and that's for all of our affiliates and the rescue booklet and our Smart Rider drill booklet. Make sure you guys grab one. It's great stuff. All right, so we're coming into here. Person did not stop. Okay, so it's green for us. Yeah, it's our right of way. We're going 23. We're still accelerating. We know that they're not stopping. At this point, we need to do something. We need to go ahead and apply some progressive brake pressure. It's a red stage because if we don't do anything, we're going to hit the side of them or hit the back of them, and that's part of planning our ride. We position for safety, decent one. Locate hazard situation, we're in one. Assessing this is a relevant threat. Let's go and put that back on the board. It is a relevant threat. Okay, cool. Now we got to navigate an active threat. If it wasn't a relevant threat, if that person stopped, we go right back. Let's bring that back on the board. We go right back to positioning, locating, positioning, locating. Hey, we see something. Okay, position, locating. Okay, we see something. Now we got to navigate it because this person's coming out. So we see this. Go ahead and apply the brakes. And that's what they did. Okay, now we're still really close, really, really close. I don't want to waste any movements. I don't want to waste anything on my body, any nervous system and electricity that my body is producing on pushing the horn. I don't. I want to look for escape paths. I want to squeeze even harder and possibly come to a stop if I had to. Look for anything and everything to get me out of this situation. And I have seen so many videos, thousands and thousands of videos where the horn maybe in 5 videos worked. Don't waste your movement on the horn. Not in this situation. It's not going to do anything. Imagine if this person slammed the brakes because it freaked them out. And now you ran into the back of them. And guess who's going to be the one in trouble? Don't waste movements. I get it. I can get some comments that they're like, the horn is good. The horn is good. I don't care. This is my opinion. That's your opinion. I don't care though. Well, I do care, but I don't think it works. All right, here we go. Same person. Let's take a look. This is a 2-lane road. We got side of the vehicle up ahead. Let's see. There's a red vehicle, side of the vehicle, going to merge into our lane. We see it way ahead of time. And we fought for the lane. Oh, man, come on. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we're coming up to here. We see it way ahead of time. As soon as you see this, we're going to go into orange stage. Now, we both know, okay, that they're supposed to go in the first available lane. Now, we don't like it when people do this, but then we also don't like this. And it really kind of comes down to we don't like people just getting in front of us. And I have a feeling right in the comments if you also kind of think this too. Motorcycle riders suck at braking. They just suck at it. They just like to accelerate. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to apply a little bit of rear brake. They don't know how to do that. Or they don't understand the distance they need or whatever. They just like doing this. Okay? They don't want people in their way. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? We're getting up to here. We should switch lanes. If we're going straight, let's just switch. It's a 3-lane road. Let's switch over to one of them. Let this person have it. Write in the comments if that's what you do. This is called defensive riding for a reason. So right here, honking the horn. Come on, man. Just switch over. That's part of planning a ride. You're going to put yourself in a better position for safety. You located that's a hazardous situation. You're assessing. It's irrelevant. Okay, it's a possible relevant threat. Just move over. Just move over because now our line of sight is terrible. We don't have good line of sight because the red vehicle is in the way. And then we need to get ourselves in a better escape path. We have a decent space cushion that we could escape to the left or right now. Let's just go ahead and escape to the right. We're going straight, right? Yeah? Because we're still in this lane. This person wants to get in the left lane to turn left. We're all coming up to a red light. They pull out a handgun to shoot you. I'm just kidding. They won't do that, hopefully. But this is why I don't like to agitate anybody. I don't like to do any. I just move over. At the end of the day, I want to be almost invisible to the rest of the world because I didn't create any ruckus. I didn't create any problems. Nobody will know that I even went for a ride because I just didn't do anything crazy. Now they're going to see me. I'm going to be visible. I'm going to be predictable. I'm going to be doing all the legal stuff so that they actually see me, but I'm not going to be sitting here. It's like, man, I hate motorcycle riders because Dan the fireman did this. No. If you do it right, nobody knows, right? All right, here we go. So we got a different person in Ireland with a quad lock. Make sure you guys grab a quad lock. Links in the description. Grab a rescue booklet. Everything over there. Let's go and watch this. Ooh, there's the side of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and watch it fully, though. This is the last guy. Let's watch it fully. Side of the vehicle around the corner. Great job braking in rain. That's a pretty difficult situation. Did a great job. All right, so right here we have a blind corner. So this is gonna be a line of sight issue, definite orange stage. Kind of wondering what is around the corner. I mean, I'm already in orange stage because I'm starting to get cold. My phone somehow fell off. Maybe didn't have the protective cover that you can actually buy. Okay, you can put a plastic protective cover from Quad Lock. So maybe didn't have that. Whatever it is, put it in his pocket. But yeah, so getting a little bit cold, maybe a little bit jittery. Maybe our muscles are starting to tense up a little bit. Vision is going to be impaired. You can see the water spots on the GoPro. Imagine on your visor. We don't have any windshield wipers on our visor. I've seen a few of those. They can look kind of cool on the internet. Let me know what you guys think. But we can't see around the corner, wet road, a bunch of different factors. One thing that we have absolute control over, because we don't have control over all the rest, right? The one thing we have absolute control over is our speed. In this situation, hopefully we have heated everything else, but we can control our speed. So slow it down because you don't know if you see the side of the vehicle coming around, peeking out. If you see this, and it looks like you started downshifting, which is really good, very smart rider, okay? You don't really ride out in rain like this and have all this gear and have all, a freaking CB radio on your motorcycle without actually utilizing and having experience. So this person's actually paying attention, practicing good habits. Started to swerve a little bit, and once they started to push out, when that vehicle started going out, we started moving over, getting ourselves a better position for safety. Honking the horn in this situation while rolling off the throttle, I don't mind this one. It's the one where you know for a fact they're not going to do anything. Hopefully this guy stops. Hopefully we can swerve in time. Hopefully we can brake in time. So hopefully at least two of those three things happen. Great swerve, handled it. Very good. We are in a residential neighborhood, so maybe he was going slow anyways. handled it. So slow speed stuff, when we practice the slow speed maneuvers in our Smart Rider drill booklet, guys, if you want to practice your slow speed maneuvers, lots of different designs, look at that, all those designs in a parking lot, just 40 by 60 parking lot. I can't find it again, but 40 by 60 parking lot. Practice, 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 just in case you have to apply the brakes, and then now you have to maneuver slow speed stuff. This happens, guys. This happens.
Now, being visible. So be predictable, be legal, be visible. So we're coming up to intersections and stuff. We want to present ourselves, you know, motion-induced blindness. We could possibly blend in with the background if we don't move. I want you to think of something, maybe even watch some videos, maybe even just wherever you're at, especially if you're out, you know, out in a place like this, not riding, not driving, not doing anything, but just sitting there and stare at something, kind of almost to where your vision just blurs out everywhere. You're not staring, you're just kind of like zoned out. The first thing that will grab your attention is something that moves. If you're in a sea of nothing moving and something moves, that's what grabs your attention. So to be visible on a motorcycle, move around, grab their attention. Movement and light grabs human eyes, grabs animal eyes. If light goes into a human eye, they see it. That's why we see stuff when it's daytime. We are able to put our focal vision on something that moves. And naturally, humans will put their focal vision on something that moves, determine if it's a threat or not, and do something about it. If it's not a threat, they go back to what they want to look at. If it is a threat, they're going to stare at it. Is that a danger noodle? That is a danger noodle. That was a snake on the road. That would have been a threat. You want to be something that grabs their attention, and then they can determine if you're a threat or not, but they at least know you're there. So being visible is by being moving, by having lights, by having high vis if you can, light colored gear. This is not very light colored, but it's not black. Got a side of the bicycle right here. Okay, side of the car, but nobody's in it. Just being careful. Want to be visible. And that's why they have flags and a high vis helmet right there. They want to be visible. So be predictable, be legal, be visible. I'll see you in the classroom.
All right, everybody, we're going to be talking about making sure you are seen. This is part of the Smart Rider basic training that we had in 2022. We're updating it, but still relevant, good information. So let's take a look at this. All right, everybody. So here's the goal. We're going to be able to demonstrate how to increase our visibility while on a motorcycle and to ensure the safety of us, of the rider. So these are the skills, and this is the knowledge. You already recognize the side of the vehicle. So we're going to be using our defensive driving capabilities, headlights, turn signals, brake lights, and our horn if we need to. I know I keep saying don't use it. I mean, out of 5 out of 1,000, I get it. But the thing is, sometimes like that last video, sometimes it works. So we're going to demonstrate our visibility, and here's all the stuff you're going to learn, okay? So distracted driving becomes a bigger and bigger problem. It is essential to take extra steps to ensure maximum visibility as a rider. So just because somebody else is supposedly paying attention doesn't mean that makes up for our lack of attention. So we need to do some things to grab people's attention, help them out because they're dumb drivers. We have to help them out. We're better and smarter, everybody. So here we go. We're going to effectively utilize our gear. This is why I like having a white helmet. Right now I have a black and white helmet, but I also utilize high-vis gear, so the reflectors on the gear. I have that green climb jacket and green climb pants, but they do have a lot of reflective stuff on it. So when you're looking for a helmet, jacket, maybe a little bit of pants. I mean, the pants don't matter too much, but definitely the jacket and helmet. Get something lighter, like, you know, either high vis. It's probably one of the best ones you can, but I like white. I don't want to be a highlighter all the time. So a white jacket, especially something that has like the reflective trim, very, very important, okay? Reflectors on your motorcycle helps out quite a bit. Your brake lights, running lights, make sure your lights are actually being utilized. They're actually working. So those are very, very, very big, okay? Very big things. So driving defensively though, here's the thing. When we're driving defensively, we're constantly looking for hazards. We're going to go into orange stage, yellow stage, yellow stage, maybe red stage, hopefully not, hopefully never white stage, and hopefully never brown stage. Okay, if you don't know what we're talking about, we do have quite a bit of videos and everything, instructional videos on the MTC awareness stages. But Make sure you plan your ride, okay? So make sure you understand that you're positioning for safety, locating hazards, assessing, and navigating these things. And the goal is that you kind of let the world just happen in front of you. Okay, you just let it happen in front of you and you just move around it like water around a rock in a creek. That's what we're doing. Not a raging rapids, because we see a lot of dum-dums doing that, but a nice slow-moving creek around dumb rocks. Think of it that way. Think of it that way. So the principle right away is one of the rules of the road is often misunderstood or even ignored by motorists. Okay, yeah, we have a green light. They decided to go in front of us. Yeah. It's fine. Okay, so you may pull up to the intersection first and have the right of way because of it, and it's never safe to assume the other motorists have seen you. Just don't assume it. Like I said, just let the world kind of move. If they decide to go, yeah, it's going to piss you off. I'm not saying your feelings don't matter. It's going to piss you off, and that's rightfully so because we're in a dangerous situation. Anger is something that's going to get you out of something. It's going to cause that fight or flight. You're either going to fight the person or flight, and you're going to try to get around it and try to escape. When we're on motorcycles, don't fight. So have that anger. Have it. Have that adrenaline dump. Okay, that's not the bad thing. I'm not saying you guys be peaceful all the time. What I'm saying is that if you get that gut feeling of that anger, don't fight. Transition. Train yourself to do the escaping, the flight part, because we don't want to collide with anybody. We need to get around them, or we need to stay away from them. We don't want to fight. Now, if you want to do it in person, get some jiu-jitsu training. All right, so when navigating intersections, be aware of vehicles that approach the intersection at roughly the same time. So we're starting to intersect. Okay, we're starting to intersect. Like I use the analogy of soccer or football or both, because I know you guys are all across the world. If you see any type of ball sport where a ball is going and you have to intersect, you have to actually catch it, you have to kick it, you have to hit it with a tennis racket, you have to do something. So you want to be able to understand how things move and where things move in time and space. If we're seeing another vehicle as the ball and us as the player and we're moving and we're going to collide, I'm going to catch that car. We're playing the opposite of the sport. We don't want to catch the car. So same principle of intersecting, same principle of catching something, but now instead of trying to catch it, modulate ourselves so we don't get hit, modulate ourselves so we don't hit something, slow it down, speed it up, whatever it is. I prefer to slow it down, just kind of let the person go versus speeding up and trying to beat them, okay? It's not a smart thing to do. So a full 3-second stop at a stop sign. So here's the thing. You stop there at a stop sign. You take a quick look left, quick look right, quick look left. We're good. Go. So give yourself a second, give yourself a second, give yourself a second, and go. And the same time, or not at the same time, but when you're starting to go, look at the ground for road surface hazards. Look where you want to go when it comes to what lane you're going to go. So here at the stop sign, if I want to turn left, I'm looking right, looking left, and I'm looking where I want to go on the left side and get into that lane. Look for the road surface hazards and then just move off. Okay, accelerate after your nose is pointed where it wants to go. That's going to buy you a lot of time to actually see any hazards left and right. So utilizing our headlights. Okay, I believe in the United States, you have to have 100% running headlights. And that's just on motorcycles. And that's just what it is. Now, I like to use the head. If that's the case, okay, cool. That's going to help with our visibility. But one thing I like to do is, and I talk about it all the time, is that lights, great. They're going to grab your attention. That's what human eyes like to grab. But also movement. Also movement. So if you have a headlight just in front of you, you're riding, and you're just staying still, yeah, you might be seen, but all of a sudden you're doing this. A little bit easier to be seen, huh? So when I'm riding, I'm not bouncing around in different lane positions. I'm in center lane for the most part, maybe left if it's behind a vehicle, but I'm just kind of like moving into just a little bit. And that's going to grab somebody's attention. It's almost like creating a modulating headlight. And if local laws say you can have a modulating headlight and brake lights, oh yeah, grab those. Everybody will see you, trust me. But ensure your headlights are working well. Don't flash people. Don't go crazy like that. If you want to, coming up to an intersection, go ahead and present yourself a little bit. Maybe if you have a little trigger button for the high beams, maybe throw it out there, but don't keep it on and blind people because that kind of defeats the purpose. Turn signals. Everyone should understand that it's an indicator. Okay, it's indicating where you want to go and utilize them the correct way. The problem is a lot of people utilize them the wrong way or leave them on. And so people start to develop this complacency of, they don't mean anything. No, just do it the right way. Just do it the right way. Most people Most people understand when you have a turn signal or an indicator, and then all of a sudden they see their brake lights. Oh yeah, they're slowing down to make that turn. So if you're having just the brake lights, they don't know what you're doing. Okay, they don't know if you're stopping because there's something in the road. They don't know if you're turning left. They don't know if you're turning right. So they're going to pass you, whatever it is. They're going to make their own decisions and assumptions. So if you have your indicator like I'm turning right and a brake light all of a sudden starts happening, they're like, oh yeah, that's communication. They're telling me they're turning right, and they have their brake lights. That's 1 + 1 = 2. I'm not going to pass them on the right or whatever it is. I don't think they could in a car, but you know what I mean. Brake lights, same thing. That's going to indicate that you are slowing down. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, and they kind of observe if somebody's getting bigger or closer. So if they get bigger, that means you're getting closer to them. If they get smaller, it means you're getting further away. So and that's usually how they judge it, but a lot of people are terrible at judging space and time and speed. So having brake lights really helps. It lets them know that you are slowing down. Hopefully they're paying attention, okay? So the horn, yeah, sometimes it's needed. Like if this person right here is at a stop sign and they just weren't going, that's when I would use the horn. Okay, I don't like it when people are at a green light and like immediately it turns green. I don't know how to snap with this finger. So it immediately turns green and then boom, here's the horn. I hate that. Give them like a couple seconds. Give them a couple seconds. Not a big deal. But yeah, that's the only time I'll ever use the horn. I don't use it in emergency situations. And I know it says that. We need to change that, Nathan. We need to change that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? How to be visible? Make sure you're visible. Write in the comments. I'll be seeing you guys around. Join the MTC Ride Academy. Get to the shop. Rescue packs, all those things. I know about 20, 30, 50, 70% of you guys are leaving right now, but hey, here you go. Those of you that have stayed, I like you. Grab yourself a slice of pizza, and I'll see you later.